What's up, guys? Welcome back to Severe MMA. Paul Brown here, and I'm joined from the opposite side of the world by the one and only Max Lally. Max, how you doing, brother?
Doing all good, all good. Weather's nice over here anyway, so can't complain.
We were just chatting there. We're quite a bit away from each other. Usually, we do our interviews together under the lights in the cage after you've picked up a professional victory. We've done that 3 times, but today we're doing
Yeah.
it from quite a distance away from each other. Where are you at the moment?
So I am currently in Bangkok in Thailand. Bit of a 7 hour difference. But yeah, no, weather's great, sun's shining. I'm in good form, yeah, good form.
You've been out there for quite a while now, haven't you?
I got out on, I think it was the 2nd of January. Just got over, just this side of the new year. And I've just been training now for me up and coming Cage Warriors debut in April. So been getting to work in with top class training partners, top class fighters. And just, yeah, taking it all in like a sponge. Yeah, just absorbing everything I can.
The fighters you're talking about that you're training with there, I mean, we're seeing clips on social media of you working with some big names in the sport. You've got a little bit of a great experience lined up just ahead of you now as well, don't you? Do you want to tell the viewers about that?
Yeah, so I've been asked to go over to Sydney in Australia to help Alex Volkanovski, with his up and coming UFC fight. I think it's April 12th in Miami. He's fighting Diego Lopez, trying to retain his title, and I've been asked to go over and get some work in with him. And obviously it was a no brainer for myself to say yeah with a fight of my own coming up. So yeah, no, I'm really, really looking forward to it. Really fortunate to be in this situation, and yeah, really looking forward to the next few weeks of training.
That's pretty amazing. Like, I mean, we've seen clips of you working with Alex over the last while, and what has that experience been like?
Oh, it's been unbelievable. In my opinion, he's one of the greatest featherweights of all time. That's the weight that I'm competing at. So when you're moving around with lads like that, it kind of in my head it kind of just instills like I'm training with one of the best in the world, and it gives you that good kind of mental strength, as in no matter who they put in front of you, it's like you've trained with lads at a good level, a higher level, so it's good to have that kind of in the back pocket and just to feel that level and compare yourself to it also, I think that's like for my age and where I'm at in my career, it's hugely beneficial, just to feel myself out where I am with one of the best in the world,
Yeah, I mean, for competition, I mean, one way I've always looked at competition is when you're preparing or when you're preparing to compete in whether it's a fight or jiu-jitsu or anything like that, you'll know deep down in your heart if you've shied away from the hardest tests or if you've taken them in preparation and you put yourself through the toughest sparring rounds and things like that. And that always personally for me, I feel that always filled me with confidence anytime I would go to compete. So I would imagine that knowing that you've been working with fighters of that level absolutely does wonders for your confidence now with your fight coming up in April.
No, 100%. I've always approached like training in this way. Like I'll just throw myself into the deep end and see if I can swim. Sometimes you swim and sometimes you drown. You know what I mean? But it's training at the end of the day. So it's like no matter the result, it's beneficial. I've always kind of approached training with that kind of with that mindset. And I just think that like when you're training with lads like Volk and like even I was fortunate enough that move around with Aljo also, like when you get to kind of train with these lads and just compare yourselves to them, it's like you get to see what they're doing, you get to see how they're preparing, and it's like it's kind of a oh, this isn't so different to what I'm doing, you know what I mean? And it's just as as my coaches always say, sometimes in MMA it's not about who's the best and who's the best now. It's about kind of who's left, who stays on the path, who stays disciplined, consistent. All these little things add up over years and years and years. And you can see with them lads, it's just they're a product of it.
Yeah, we've had chats before about how much you value the coaches and the teammates that you have around you. I mean, you've got a really solid crew and some of the best coaches available in Ireland in all of the various disciplines. And obviously now you're spreading your wings and you've spent the last couple of months down in Thailand and you're getting new looks and picking up new details, new information. You're really leaving, as I think I said to you the last time we did a post fight interview, no stones unturned as well. How are you feeling ahead of your Cage Warriors upcoming fight now? Because you've had quite a lot of time to upscale and the old phrase, fill up the hard drive.
No, 100%. I feel like the kind of the new techniques and stuff that I've acquired, like they're all in the bank now. Even over in Thailand, it's so easy. Like I'm walking around that fight weight, I'm walking around lean, healthy, eating good, training good. You know what I mean? It's really a great place to be mentally. You know what I mean? It's like I'm 7 weeks out, but I feel like if a fight was to come up in the next 5 days, I'd take it. That's how good I feel. You know what I mean? So, like with the up and coming fight on Cage Warriors, it's just, to be honest, it's just trying to get there in one piece more than anything, Paul. Like I really feel like I've put in serious amount of work over the past few weeks, and I'm going to put in a serious amount of work now in the up and coming few weeks. So I'm going to be like a greyhound on the leash by the time April 26th comes. But I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, like the yellow gloves they're really prestigious. Like in my opinion, it's a great promotion to be under. All the best fighters in Europe all under one banner, and it's the cream rises to the top. Um, so I think for myself, it's just a matter of getting that first one out of the way and just keep all the other fights rolling now. Um, I think once I get this first one out of the way, I'll be looking to really make a huge step up in competition. Even though I'm so young in me career, I wanna fight the best. I wanna be one of the best in the world, and I think if I continue going down this path that I'm on, that I definitely will be there one day.
And you mentioned there, like the time frame we've got now until your Cage Warriors debut, which is just over 7 weeks. And obviously now in the interim, you're going to Sydney. So what does but the plan, the layout look for you from here to the point of where you're fighting? When are you going to Sydney? How long are you going to be there? And what does the rest of the camp look like?
So what the rest of the camp looks like is I'll finish off a good week of training now on Saturday. I'll chill out Sunday, and I think we head out to Sydney on Monday night. I think it is. It's an 8 or 9 hour flight, and I think we get there 1, 2 o'clock Sydney. I think Sydney is 11 hours ahead of Ireland, and I think it's four hours ahead of Thailand. So it's not that much of a time difference. But I imagine we'll get straight into it. I'm in Sydney for 3.5 weeks. I leave Sydney on April 3rd and I get home to Ireland April 4th. I'll touch base with Owen, Sergey, Peter back home. Obviously go through the game plans. I still have yet to get an opponent. It's looking like I'll get an opponent now in the next probably week or so, hopefully. And obviously I can touch base with them and start to kind of put the little pieces into play. I believe when you're 3 weeks out, I think I get back, I think a little 3 weeks out. Like I think honestly, 3 weeks out from a fight, the work should be done. You know what I mean? It should be it should be done. You know what I mean? I'm going to be coming home fight ready, fight fit for this in April 26th. I've no doubt in my mind about it. So I think it'll be polishing off, the final product more than anything when I get back home. I've been with Roddy for years, Sergey for years. I've started doing a little bit with Peter. He's been a great help. Also, obviously, all the coaches over in Bangtown, Frank, George, Conor McBride, everyone like that have been obviously a huge help to me over here. Also, but the lads back home, they understand me. There's just that bond that I just don't think it can be bought. It's This bond is created over years and years and years and years. And I'm really looking forward to getting home to the lads, obviously, and I'm just itching to fight. I haven't fought since July. I made an attempt to get down to bantamweight. It took too much of a toll on the body, so I scratched it and decided to stay at featherweight. So I haven't fought since July, Paul. I'm just itching. I have the itch now. You know what I mean? So, the sooner April 26th comes, the better. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's been quite a while since we've seen you in there. So the fight announcement came, or the announcement that you were signing with Cage Warriors came, and with that there was the announcement that you were very possibly going to be linking up their bantamweight division. But that's not the plan going forward now.
Yeah, I put up I put up a vlog there. I think it might be about 4 weeks ago, saying it. So more or less, what happened was I was finding it very hard to kind of get matched. I was looking to defend my title on Cage Legacy, but obviously they had closed their doors. I had been a bit unfortunate with pullouts and stuff like that, and haven't faced the opposition that I would have liked to face. So what I was looking to do was I was looking to try get a fight, get a test elsewhere. And obviously the opportunity to sign with Cage Warriors came up. So for myself, Paul, is like I like to do something and I like to make sure I don't like to linger on the thought, if that makes sense. I like if I think of something, at the time I thought it was very possible for myself to make bantamweight. And I wouldn't want to fight a featherweight thinking that I could fight a bantamweight. It's like I'm either doing bantamweight or I'm not. I want to know. I want to let these guys know. So when I signed, I made the attempt to cut the weight, but performances, energy levels, I just wasn't. I didn't have the attributes that I have at featherweight, and I think doing that weight cut would have changed me stylistically a little bit. And I don't want to be a boring fighter, Paul. I want to go in and finish fights. That's what people want to see. I'll try finishing them on the feet. I'll try finishing them on the ground. I'll do whatever I can by any means necessary. So I suppose in myself, win or lose, draw, whatever the result, I think performance is what I care about the most, no matter the result. I like to have that backing, as in I fought me heart out, and if the better man wins, the better man wins. So that was the kind of whole thought process behind it. So I scrapped it. I spent the last bit of last year trying to make the weight, leaning out and getting really skinny. I had a lot of people saying. I remember I went down to Cage Conflict to watch some of the fights down there. Had everyone saying it to me. They were like, "Oh, you have a fight coming up. You're real skinny and all." But listen, I think everything happens for a reason, and I'm looking forward to just putting my feet down now in this featherweight division and just making a bit more of a name for myself now. Yeah.
Yeah, and you mentioned there, I mean, the opposition that you were kind of going through, and there was a lot of pullouts, wasn't there? You had those three professional bouts last year, but I think on all three of them, they were replacement opponents in the end. So you were going in there against guys you were probably expected to win against anyway, and it would have been like a massive shock if you had lost. But
Yeah.
that probably
Exactly.
it won't be the case going forward. Obviously, you're going into a high level promotion now, so I think you're more than ready, absolutely, to be tested, and it's going to be good, really good for you now to find those tests in Cage Warriors.
No, definitely, definitely. That's where progression happens. That's where the improvements happen. I am a firm believer in this. That a hard fight will bring you on twice as much as any time or any amount of training. Um, I believe like that. It's not what you do in the training room. It's what you do under the lights. It's what you do when the pressure's on you. And I thoroughly believe that I am ready for this. And I just want to get that first fight out of the way, get them yellow gloves on me, and just get down to business. But it was, yeah, as you said, I was a bit unfortunate. I think it was my last two opponents I was supposed to fight. I was two tough lads, you know what I mean? They've been around a while, and both of them ended up pulling out. I ended up having to fight Nikola Ivanovic and that Portuguese fella in July then. And listen, like sometimes I suppose like with them fights they are good, but it's like it doesn't, for me anyway. I don't know, it might sound a bit cocky or brash saying this, but it doesn't feel like a fight, if that makes sense. Because I know for a fact going in against these guys that I can finish them whenever I feel like it almost. I love them fights where it's that unpredictability. It's like you need to be in the gym. It's like I'm not training, this guy's training, you know what I mean? In that type of way. So I definitely think Cage Warriors will be hugely beneficial for my career. I think every young MMA fighter should be looking at a promotion like Cage Warriors and trying to get in there, because at the end of the day, them fights are what are gonna develop you the most. So I'm just looking forward to getting me kind of foot in the door now. Lots of other Irish fighters in there too. So it'll be super good for me career now going forward.
Yeah, like I'd circle back to your final amateur fight against Tiernan Loughran. I mean, that's probably the last time you went in there where it was like don't know who's going to win or lose this one, and you guys really, really pushed each other. And I think it's very important for young fighters to have those fights. We've talked about it before, like definitely in the amateur career, go in there against guys that you don't know if you're going to beat, because when you turn pro, your record reverts to zero anyway. But those are obviously when you're training for those kind of tests, those are the tests that really, really improve you as a fighter. They light a fire underneath you. And I think going forward, you're definitely going to have those, aren't you?
No, definitely. That's the plan, Paul. Like I'm not. I thought like I don't want to be fighting cans. You know what I mean? And if I did want to be fighting cans, I probably wouldn't sign the Cage Warriors. This is like for me now. I feel like I had a good enough amateur career, but now the past three fights, I feel like I'm kind of laughing stock almost. You know what I mean? It's like I haven't had a real test. And it's almost I'm not I'm doing it for myself, but also I need to remind people at a level, you know what I mean, like of where I'm at. Because I always say it, people only remember you from your last fight. It's like the amateurs that's done. You know what I mean? It's like any fights before that, they've obviously benefited me in some way or another, but it's like people only care about the last fight, you know what I mean? And I just want to get in there now against some good prospect, some good step up, a good test for myself, and get in there and just show everyone that I can hang in there with them. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I'm just looking forward to getting a name and getting the ball rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be a huge night, Cage Warriors on April 26th. I mean, we're seeing a lot of fight announcements coming out now. Irish fighters getting lined up. James Sheehan defending his title in the main event, but we've seen Keith Kyo being signed to the promotion. Your teammate, your training partner, Conor McCarthy, has he got an opponent yet?
I think he has something signed anyway. I'm not too sure who it is, but he's after getting something signed. We was talking to him. He just left there last Wednesday. But I was only saying this to. There's an Irish boxing coach over here, Conor McBride. I was only saying I think this card in terms of potential, right, tops any card that has been on in the past 5 6 years on Irish soil. Honestly, if you look at that card and look at the talent on that card, it's honestly it's unbelievable some of the talent that's on the card. You know what I mean? So I think what's gonna happen now is people are gonna look back at this card in the RDS in fucking 5 6 years time and be gobsmacked that all these lads were fighting on the same card. Honestly, I swear to God, because like I say it, like people sleep on Irish MMA. It is at such a high level, it's ridiculous. Honestly, it's at such a high level, it is ridiculous. Because I just thinking in the amateurs anyway, it's like there's no hiding from anyone. There's only about 5 million of us, and there's not 5 million of us doing MMA. You know what I mean? In the scene, everyone knows everyone. Everyone fights everyone, and that's why we get the talent that we get coming out of the country. You know what I mean? I've always had that kind of attitude, that mindset. You know what I mean? It's at amateur, you fight anyone, anyway, anywhere, anytime, and that's how the improvements come. And now you're looking at all these guys, like a lot of these guys coming into Cage Warriors, like they might only be 1 2 pro fights in. The guys kind of at the top of the card might have a bit more, but they're all coming off polished amateur careers. Like don't get me wrong, like they are more than ready, So, um, I'm really looking forward to getting in there, and I think it's going to be a huge night for Irish MMA.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Have you been looking at the Cage Warriors featherweight division? Have you been picking out kind of fighters of interest or guys that you might have your eye on going forward?
Yeah, I've obviously you see the lads at the top of the division. You see Luke Riley fighting. He's actually fighting a really good lad. He's actually trained over in Bangtao before. He's a world sambo champion. I think that fight's 9 days time, if I'm correct,
I think so,
or
yeah.
9 days time. I'll definitely have my eye on that. Like I'm always looking at the top of every division. But to be honest, the second half of the year, I was looking at all the bantamweights because I thought I was gonna make the weight, but obviously I got my manager Paul to give Ian the shout there in the new year that it just wasn't gonna happen. So I feel like with the amount of looks and the amount of different styles that I am getting over here, that I honestly feel like I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting on someone. I've gotten great training in with such top level opponents. So I'm just I'm just waiting now. You know what I mean? But that, don't get me wrong. I think that bantamweight, featherweight, lightweight, welterweight, all the weights. It's like, if you want to consider yourself USC caliber, you have to get that belt. You have to be beating the lads at the top of that division, and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? There's no other way to describe it. You know.
Absolutely. Have you been dishing out the Kupla Fuckle to Volkanovski or any of the guys down there, teaching them a bit of Irish?
Ah, no, sure, they can't even understand me speaking English. Never mind Irish, Paul. Never mind Irish. Okay, Tommy gave me a bheith coint gaelge. Tommy again of couple of videos mo Instagram. Tommy again of Nishan Fuckle and Ish got day hina, the old sayings every Friday. I was very fortunate. My girlfriend was over here with me. She just left on Wednesday because she got news that I was going to Australia. She's gone over to Dubai to see her sister. She's also fluent in Irish, so we were speaking a bit back and forward to each other. Och, clocked it again of perfect. You know what I mean. Practice makes perfect. So
Yeah,
I think it's great as well. You know, to see so much people speaking Irish. But every now and then, you know, I grab a few lads. Also, the boxing coach, Connor, he also speaks Irish too. So it's really cool. You know, Tirgan Changa, Shin Tirgan Anam. You know, a country without its language is a country without a name, and we cannot let that. We can't let this ancient, beautiful language, this rich language, die. You know, so I will speak it till I'm long gone. You know, so yeah, Tommy, Gwelgor Brodil, August Shashin,
yeah.
proud Gwelgor.
I'm with you on that one. Nura chucking to Awalya to reach the trade. So RDS, Tommy contain of interview, Austin Welga.
Ah, Shin Furfolk, Paul, Shin
Yeah,
Furfolk, beg me Ray, beg me
happy
Ray.
days. Happy days. Right. Well, listen, I want to wish you the best of luck on your travels. Enjoy the training camp in Australia. And we'll get fight news soon, I'm sure. And you and I will have a chat probably in the lead up to the fight. Yeah.
100%, Paul, 100%.
Top
Thanks
man.
for having
Thanks.
me on again, man. Legend.
Thank you.